Welcome to the World Engine Preview Pre-Alpha release. I'm going to quickly walk you through the UI so that way you're able to get started. We have a filter system at the top, which will, when live, allow you to filter based off of various common things: favorites, worked, rough, terrain, objects, and markers. And then we have a search system which will let you search for custom tags or tags from vendors or other sorts of tags on tiles and or albums. And then we have a palette below that, and the palette allows us to store tiles that we're going to use for painting onto our map and select and manage our tiles. Additionally, the palette has the capability to handle a dual selection, so we can have combined tiles, which you can see in the preview down below. Below the palette, we have our preview. In the preview, we can see what tool we have selected. So as I go through and I select different tools, you can see that the tool name changes. We have properties for those tools. Currently, all the configured properties for our brush is available under all tools, even though not all tools use it. It is pre-alpha. And we have a preview of the tile selected. This lets you rotate the tile. It lets you control the scale of the tile from this side piece. You can also control properties such as fill, outline, or shadow, depending on which tool you have. And you can control your stroke color for the outline, fill for a fill color if you're not filling with a pattern, and shadow for shadows. So for instance, if I take this guy and I were to do this, I draw a line, you get a line with a black fill. I didn't select a fill color or a fill pattern, and a shadow. If I were to go in and select a fill pattern and draw, let's actually reverse these and draw a shape, then you can see that it will fill accordingly. And we can come in and make another room here. There you go. So on the right hand side, we have our login. This lets you log in with your account, D20 Pro or otherwise. We have a tool system which has a roller, a paintbrush, a pencil, a fill, and an eraser. The tile roller is the most active and functional of the tools currently. This maps to the grid. The paintbrush, as you saw, functions but is not currently attached to the grid. That'll get fixed up soon. The pencil similarly works but is also not attached to the grid at the moment. These are drawing in our temp space. The fill bucket will in fact fill a shape accordingly in tile space, so you need to make sure that you're attempting to fill in a place where there are tiles. Filling outside in our very large empty canvas will in fact fail in the current version, and it doesn't detect it for a while, so you'll be sitting there looking at the screen, so don't do that. The eraser erases tiles, and then we have various selection tools for doing a group selection, for EYEDROPPER for picking up and changing what your active tile is based off of tiles on the map, and the hand tool for dragging things around. That way you can drag without interacting, or you can use the right-click action to drag around your map as well. Additionally, we have undo, and it's multiple levels of undo. And you can see here as I hit Control Z a whole bunch of times, or I can just keep clicking this button here, we undo or redo through a very large stack of steps. This is our snap to grid. With snap to grid turned off, we are not bound by the confines of our grid, so we can paint anywhere we want and even on top of other tiles. And then if we come down here, we have a layer system. The layer system currently is very limited in what it can do. It handles a linear list of layers and doesn't handle any switching between or swapping location of layers, but that'll be coming out pretty soon as well. With layers enabled, you can paint into the second layer here, and then I could make the first one invisible, make the second one invisible, change visibility on it. Alternately, of course, you can just delete them. And then finally, the tools panel includes a new canvas tool, a open map, save map, and export. The save, open, and export functions are currently disabled in the preview edition. And finally, the last thing is our help button, and this just gives you a quick overview of a lot of the topics I just discussed. This should be plenty to get started, and feel free to chime in from the help page. There's a nice form here that you can fill in, which will let us know what you think, and we'd love to hear from you. Have fun mapping. Thanks.